Hey guys, in this video, we're going to talk to Mark and Brian. They're two expats from the U.S. who have decided to live in Solanea. Now, Jan and I used to live in Solanea condos, beautiful place to live, but they're going to share with us their experiences and some hacks they have for getting cheap meals and using the senior discount. Hope you enjoy the video.
Hot mic now, everything you say can and will be recorded and held against you. Hey guys, we're back at Solanea, and I'm here with Janet, of course, and we have Brian and Mark. Both are from the U.S. If you remember, Mark, we did a video about golfing in the Philippines, and Brian has sold everything he owns to come here and become a tennis pro. Hey, both you guys have gotten condos in Solanea, right across from Isle Mall. How do you like it here, Brian?
I love it. I'm ecstatic. I'm still in the honeymoon. I've been here about 2 months. I did a lot of research in advance for this, and I have the luxury of being in Cebu many, many times. So I kind of knew this was going to be the landing spot for me. And the pricing here, after getting off the American hamster wheel, is phenomenal. I think paying a little over $400 for a modern American-style condo, fully furnished. I'm on a very high floor with fresh air, beautiful views, great security, and American amenities. So I'm loving life. And as you know, Mike, we're only a minute and a half. I timed it, walk across the street basically to one of the greatest malls, I think, in the Philippines, Isle Mall.
A minute and a half walk. No, that's like 5 minutes for me, guys. That's a long. I'm an old man. So Mark, how do you like it here?
Yeah, I love it here too, Mike. I've been here in my unit for about a year, coming up in March.
You took over my old unit.
Yes, I did, and it checked a lot of boxes that I was looking for. One of the amenities that I really like is having my own in-room washing machine. So I can keep up on my laundry. It dries really quick, just hanging to dry.
Watch right over here.
And it worked out very well for me. I did go back to the U.S. for 5 months while I had it rented here, and I left some things. The landlord watched over it for me, checked it out. So I came back in October and just picked up from there. But I love it.
How do you guys find security here at Solanea?
I think it's outstanding. I don't feel like I'm ever in danger here. There is a security guard basically on every corner, and they're tracking everything. It's very comfortable, and I think they're protecting us great, and they're also very nice. They will only work 15-hour days too.
Only 15 hours.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Hey, a lot of guys call this the bubble, and some people use that as a bad word. You know, I'm staying in the bubble of Isle Mall or IT Park. Do you consider it, Mark, a good thing that there's a lot of expats that you can talk to and hang out with?
I do. It is a little bit of a bubble. I lived in a bubble in Florida for the last 3 years in the Villages, Florida, and it's definitely a bubble environment. So I would say that that's true here too, and you have to challenge yourself to get outside of the bubble now and then, and Brian's done some of that already to find different places for entertainment.
Now, you guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about living hacks here. Now, we know being at Solanea, you can get an inexpensive rent, you know, $400 or $500 a month, really close to the mall, so you don't need transportation. You don't need to own a motorbike or a car. But don't you find the cost to eat expensive as a single man?
Well, it depends. Coming from America, I don't obviously, but TUBEBUDDY is, I would say, 30% cheaper from what my visits there.
Yeah.
But I think the greatest hack is negotiating your condo. And right now, this might be encouraging for some of your viewers. I think we're living in an area, I don't know about the entire Philippines, but Cebu, there's an abundance of open condominiums. So you can negotiate whatever. We're getting 6-month leases now. When I was looking at this 4 or 5 years ago on one of my trips, they did 1-year leases. I negotiated 3 or 4 things. Like a little couch, a new microwave. They asked for 2 months security deposit, 1 month's rent. I said, I'll take this unit if I can pay you 2 months in advance and 1 month security. So a lot of these owners have condos, I think, that have been open for quite a while. So don't be afraid to really be aggressive on your negotiations. It's nothing personal. If they say no, you go on, and there's lots of other places to look at.
You'll never get what you want unless you ask for it. What about food, Mark?
Yes, food is one of the big savings I've found here, is going over to the Quest Hotel. They have the Pousseau Bistro and Bar restaurant there, and I just stumbled into the fact that every lunchtime they offer 50% discount for seniors, which would be 60 plus here in the Philippines. And so if you avail that, it's 550 pesos. They just raised it. The half price was $4.75, but they've added some things to the menu like salmon sashimi, maybe a couple other things. But that's kind of my main go-to place here. And I try to budget, stay in under 1,000 pesos a day on my food budget.
So if half your budget is the lunch buffet,
Right.
which you can stretch out, which we did. We joined you
Yeah.
one day. We stretched that out to about 3.5 hours. And, you know, Janet got her breakfast, lunch, and dinner all in one sitting. You can stretch your dollar if you're efficient, but how do you get that senior discount? You don't have a Philippine senior citizens card.
No, I don't. This is where I went to somebody you referred me to, HEIDI CAJES of C&G Consulting. This was last year. She helped me get a Philippine driver's license. And you have to be here 4 months minimum to apply for the Philippine driver's license. And I use that as my ID. In fact, it just helped in reserving a room. They offered me a 20% discount if I had Philippine ID. So I showed my Philippine driver's license.
I've been staying at the Quest, and I never knew I could get 20% off. So I learned something here, because that was at the Quest. You got the person a room. Do you use the senior often, Brian? Do you use it?
I have started to do it, yes. I actually started this 2 years ago. I turned 60, and I was in Boracay at a resort, and I was checking in. And the woman that was checking me in said, "Do you have any other documents or anything?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, we have a senior discount." And I said, "What's a senior?" In America, a senior might be 62, might be 65, might be 67. And she said it was 60. And it was 20% off of all food and all drinks at this nice resort. And I said, "I will absolutely accept that. But please keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody. I'm a senior." Still getting used to I'm a senior, but what Mark said is true. A senior in the Philippines is 60 years old. That is the base here. So that gives you senior line. If you want to get in line in front of everybody at all these stores, you can do that. But the pricing, definitely take advantage of that, because that, as you were saying, Mike, that adds up over a year.
I don't use it like when I go to the coffee shop. It's time consuming just for, you know, a few pesos there.
Right.
But day in, day out, if you're eating out all the time here, and it adds up at the end of the year, I can't imagine. Just the lunch alone, as we're talking about 20%, if you go there often, it's like getting a free lunch every 6th visit.
Yeah.
So yeah, great hack there. What about traveling around the islands? Have either one of you traveled anywhere yet?
I actually went to Boracay again. I've been there many times. I went there during Sinulog a couple weeks ago, and it's a 40-minute flight from Mactan Airport. We have, I think, the best airport in the Philippines. Very easy, very user-friendly. And Boracay takes a little work. I wouldn't recommend going there for 3 days. Please try to take at least 5, 6, 7 days. Because you have to take a boat and a few other things, but it's not that difficult, and it's well worth it. We're in the central location here. We can go down to the port, which I do have on my plans to go to Bohol, about an hour-and-a-half boat ride. Very easy. They've upgraded the port there. It used to be mass chaos. Now it's nice, decent. I'm not going to say
it's still chaos.
It's a little
just
chaos, but you should have seen it 15 years ago.
I find that I call it running through the gauntlet.
You still have to be on your toes.
Everybody,
people want to take your bags and give you all.
Not steal them. They want to carry them for a tip and everything. So,
I'll have to say I've had good success on Cebu Pacific, I've been using them exclusively for trips to Davao, General Santos, Manila. I want to get out to some other places in the Philippines, and they've had a good record for me as far as on time. They do give senior priority boarding at the gate, and I think they've done a lot to try to improve their service in the last couple of years, has been my observation. Usually the wait or the attendants are very friendly and helpful.
Now, you're both on a tourist visa.
Yes.
Have you had any issues in extending your tourist visa yet?
I had an issue when I tried to do the first extension is called a waiver extension, and then I was able to do that online. But then I tried to do the 2-month visa extension, and the online system
They wouldn't take it.
wouldn't take it.
They
so I
wanted
had
to see
go
your
in,
face.
yeah.
Were there a lot of questions asked, or?
No questions asked. It was pretty quick. You know, you pay those express fees to get it processed right there. I did it down at the
J-Mall?
yes, J-Mall.
And how about you, Brian? Any problems?
So far, no, but I've cheated, Mike, because I've used one of your services on the 4th floor, Olvis. And they have, that's something that you can avail yourself to
Yes.
here. There's lots of, HEIDI has hers and JR.
There's-
All of these places make it simple and easy. You have to pay an extra fee, but they will take your passport, wait in line, get it stamped, and do everything else. Now, eventually, I'm probably gonna have to go in and see those people in person. So I am starting to develop a file for credibility, because you don't want to be called in there and say, we need to see you over in this room. They are getting a little stricter from what I've read about tourists being here eternally, and they will start saying, what are you doing? Are you living here? And Mike brought something up. Mike, you brought this up yesterday, which was brilliant. Start a file with where you're going. Okay, if you've made all these island trips down to Dumaguete, Bohol, Boracay, start a file with record of your airplane tickets, and then you can tell the agent, say, hey, I've been a tourist, look at this, here it is.
Yeah.
So that's a good trick
That's
there, yeah.
brilliant,
Hang
yeah.
on to your hotel reservation number, plane, old boarding passes and such. There's no harm in having extra information.
Mike, I want to flip back to hacks again for food, just
Oh,
for real
yeah,
quick.
let's go.
And I have this card here. It's called a Bistro or BFF card. And
BFF.
yes,
Best
you,
friends?
you can buy that. I think the initial is 2,500 pesos.
That's 2,500.
But you
Yeah.
get 20% discount at Italiani's, TG Fridays, Texas Roadhouse, Denny's, Watami.
Watami, yeah.
There's a few others on there, not just in Cebu, but throughout the Philippines. And on Mondays, for example, Italiani's will give you 30% off. So that's a good
Yeah, so that's
hack.
once a year, the 2,500?
Well, actually, to renew it, it's only 1,500.
Ah, so if you're gonna live in Cebu and
Yeah.
around these restaurants that accept it, that's a great idea. Have you found any issues in buying clothes, shoes, or anything, or you haven't done that yet?
I haven't, but I had a shoe issue the other day. I was walking in Isle Mall, and I wear Skechers, and I've had them for about 6 years. I wear them every night, and they split apart. And I said, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to do this online. You've got sizing issues. So I'm walking past TGIF Fridays, one of the number of American restaurants in Isle Mall, and guess what kind of store I see? Skechers.
Yeah, they have everything
There is
here.
everything in Ayala Mall, all the comforts, all the amenities, and they had a giant selection, and it was cheaper than America. I couldn't believe it. I got one. You'd be proud of me, Mike. I got one on sale for $60
Yeah,
instead of $90.
they're having 50% off in the Metro department store. So let's get to a really important topic. Everybody needs to know this, and guys, listen carefully to this. Where do you guys go for girl watching?
Mark, I'll let you start that one out.
Well, I don't have any particular place. I kind of have my eyes open wherever I go.
Eyes are
Yeah.
always
But-
open.
But I'm always looking for, because some girls you want to avoid here. You've probably seen some of those in the mall.
The Adam's Apple boys or the working girls?
Well, the working girls
Yeah,
and the other
yeah.
ones, yeah. But generally, if you're friendly, you can meet ladies just about anywhere. As you know from our interview last spring, I tried to join some dating sites, but I've kind of run the full circuit on that and kind of burn out on that. I think meeting people through Filipinos you know here who can vouch for their character.
Networking
Yes.
is important.
Yeah.
You know, you'll meet somebody like me, and then maybe Janet has a
Yeah.
girlfriend. Once she knows that you're nice and a good guy, she can introduce you. Networking is the best way to meet that long-term relationship.
I did find you have to be clear about whether you're here and you're looking for a long-term relationship or just short-term fun, is a term they sometimes use. That can make a difference.
Yeah, are they the right girl for a lifetime or the
Yeah.
right girl for this weekend? You know, one of those two. So, Brian, you're a semi-athlete at some point in your life.
At some point, yes.
You-
Maybe years ago.
You're retired out of Florida.
Yes, Florida, Martha's Vineyard. Yep.
And what do you find the biggest transition to the Philippines from living in Florida? I know you've been here before, but what's the one thing that really sticks out?
You know what it is, Mike? I've been here many times to the Philippines over the years on short little trips. And I find that being here now full-time, all in, I'm taking a deep breath because I've just been punched in the stomach by the hamster wheel. And it took an enormous amount of work to get rid of all my stuff. That's another story. But I'm walking a lot more slowly. And what Mark was saying about the dating, I mean, organically, since we're here, we live here. You're meeting somebody at a department store, you're meeting somebody through Mike, through, you know, all these different avenues. You don't have to be on a dating site to meet people. I think it's very easy here, and you're not rushed. You're developing a little bit of rapport, and but like Mark said, you need to be clear about your intentions.
So you
And-
found slowing down and just one day at a time and let things happen.
I'm not in a rush. I mean, it's like, and I'm enjoying the life here. I came for financial freedom, and I can't believe how cheap things are here. I know I'm in an expensive part of the Philippines, but still, I think I'm getting a deal. I'm on cloud nine. And then when I go to Dumaguete, I really feel that. So,
Wait till you see the rent in Dumaguete.
well, I should say that the other items, the food items. in
No,
Dumaguete.
us expat bloggers are really driving the prices way up in Dumaguete. So speaking of bloggers, now you guys have been following a lot of YouTube guys. Who have you've met that you have followed that, you know, was a pleasure to meet? Other than me, you can't talk about me and Janet.
Well, Mark and
Yeah.
I met no offense, Mike, but we met the legend, Enrique Velez, who was really I think he's the pioneer of Philippine
Yeah.
blogging. I think everybody would
I
kind of
followed
say,
him
you know
when I
what?
was thinking about
We've all
coming out.
followed him, and years ago, I don't know how we got in touch with him,
Yeah.
but we, maybe Facebook or something, but or if it was around, but we flew down to Dumaguete, the 20-minute flight, to have lunch with him. And we had a 3-hour lunch, like we did with you yesterday. And we just had a great time, but he had a wealth of information, still does, and we've had the pleasure and fortune of actually friending him and spending time with him off camera. And but John Suno, I mean, Paul, obviously, Old Dog Paul's phenomenal. Gio, Mark Thornton had a unique station channel, you know, very interesting. Okay, very simple, but you know, every man has a story.
He had a big following.
Big
Chad
following.
Foster.
Chad, the guy, there's nobody like Chad Foster and Carefree Chris. They're the
Carefree Chris.
adventurous spirits out there on the road, and God bless them. I don't think I could do it, but we learn from them. And if you do want to take that motorcycle trip, you see. So.
Are you guys getting ready to do your own YouTube channel? Do we have new bloggers coming up here?
I don't know about that. I did want to mention one hack that I found helpful coming over here is I tell myself every day, nothing's going to go the way you think it should, and just be patient. And that has helped a lot because you'll go to make a transaction and you might get out of stock, or I got out of stock and then I walked back to where it was and there it was. So there's a lot of miscommunication among different staff about what's going on. So just don't take anything for granted. Set your American, do it in a hurry aside and just come here and go with the flow.
When it's done, it's done.
And I would add to that, here, you're not given that much information. You
Yeah.
need to pull it out of people sometimes. And, you know, in America, if you go into an Ace Hardware or wherever, they're gonna say, well, this thing here, this does this well, but you gotta be careful about this. And you may wanna add this, but you're not gonna get any extra information here. I don't know if that's a cultural thing, I don't know the reason for that.
Well,
But we have to ask.
Yeah, and
You've
even,
gotta ask lots of questions to dig it out and anticipate things, because it's not gonna be given to you.
and I think
Yeah.
some of that is the language issue. They do speak English, and some of them very good, but they're not always tracking with you. If
Yeah.
if you speak too fast or you use words that they don't understand,
Yeah.
they'll look at you kind of blank, and they're not a confrontation society or culture. So you have to read that and say, oh, well, I mean this, and explain it a little bit more.
I think sometimes they'll say out of stock when they don't know.
Yeah.
And they want to say something.
It's a
and
face-saving,
you know, it gets the conversation. It's like
Yeah.
when they don't know directions and they point one direction.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just got to take it the way it is. So you avoided my question. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, I'm going to take that as a no, because neither one of you has asked
I'm not gonna-
to do
I
video
don't
with
wanna
me.
saturate the market any more than it is.
Saturated the market. You know, when you get your ACR card renewed on your second year, there's a box you have to check, YouTube channel. You have to say
Oh.
yes or no. They
I
want
did
to
not
know.
know
Okay,
that.
It's a joke. Thanks, guys. Leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. I'm sure Mark and Brian will read the comments and they'll answer it for you. Thanks, guys, for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Mike.
Until
Thank
next
you,
time.
Mike.
Until next time, guys.
Thank you.